Hello and welcome to Keep Growing Plants. I'm Crystal and I hope you will enjoy this houseplant collection tour that I'm going to do today. I have been collecting plants for maybe 12 years approximately. I'm going to tour my entire houseplant collection, which is around 100, and I'm going to speak a little bit about each one, but not too much at length, because with that many plants, if I was to give you a ton of care information and stuff like that at every plant, we would be here forever. So I'm going to spare you that and probably put care stuff in other videos in the future. But even without giving lots of care tips, this is still going to be a long video. So my first long form video is going to be a long one. I figured why not start off with a big one. And I hope you all enjoy. Grab a drink or a snack, find a cozy place in your house to relax, sit back and enjoy. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention that if you stick around until the end, I will give a little introduction of who I am, where I'm from, my interests, my career, stuff like that. So stick around. Okay, so we're gonna start in my plant room. I love this space so much. The first plant that you see when you come in, right at the entrance, is my philodendron polypodoides. She came to me as a tiny 2-leaf baby 2 years ago, and now she's just ginormous and stunning. I have 2 vines in this pot. I've chopped her a few times over the 2 years, and she's still this stunning. I love her. Next is my anthurium viterifolium. I've had her for, I think, maybe 4 years, 5 actually. I think I got her in 2020. She actually has an inflow at the moment. I usually cut off the inflows, but I decided to keep this one. This is my philodendron ring of fire. I'm happy with this little bit of orange, but I'm hoping that the next leaf will be a little bit more brilliant. Now, this is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. And that is just a new vine popping out of the bottom. It's actually ginormous. Go all the way up, 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 up to the ceiling, across the ceiling a little bit, all the way over here. I have some string set up to go all the way to the window. I'm curious to see if I can get her to do that. We'll see. This is my Peperomia Hope. I've had her for a few years. I think 2.5, maybe 3. And she was really, really long, and I recently chopped her up. You can see all the Peperomia Hope cuttings. This is a classic, just a beautiful ivy. I actually had her growing in my backyard garden in Montreal, and I took her out to bring with me and decided to keep her in my plant room instead of putting her outside. I think she's really cute. This is my Florida ghost, who's not looking very hot right now. She's not happy with me. I chopped her up. She was doing really well and pushing out new leaves quite a lot, but I decided I wanted to chop her so that I could sell some cuttings and also maybe put one of them on a pole. I want to grow this one long and dangling. Maybe, I don't know, do something interesting styling wise with it, like I've seen Fern do. Yeah, so that's her. She's cute. And this is my Alocasia Frydek. Such a stunner. I wanted this for so long, and I finally have her. And her newest leaf is really pretty too. It's just unfurling. Right next to her, not looking hot, is my Anthurium Spider Blue. She actually did look really good for a while. She had multiple leaves for years. I've had her for like maybe 4 years. And her biggest leaf had fenestration and everything. I was really proud of her. But then, I don't know, she just started to go downhill, and she put out this new leaf, which seems to be less mature. So, I don't know, she's like declining for some reason. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to do my best. This one you have to see from far away a little bit because she's so big. This is my Norfolk Island pine. I've had her for about 8 years. I grew her from a tiny little tree. Here she is up close. She's so pretty. I really, really love her. She's got 2 new layers of branches coming in. I think she's happy. Another one that I really have to show you from far away, because, again, really big, is my rabbit's foot fern. Yeah. I'm not sure how many years I've had her, but it's been many years, and she started off also as a tiny baby. My friends got her for me for a birthday one year, and it was just like a little pot. She's so cute. I've made many babies from her also. You'll see some of her babies around the house when we go there later. This is an orchid, and I forget the name. I think it's Bulbophyllum Doris Day or something like that. I got it from a friend who is really amazing with orchids. If you're watching, Jika, thank you. This is another orchid. It's a really tiny kind of bulbophyllum. It has the little bulbs at the base, which, you know, I don't know if you know about orchids or not, but if you find orchids that have those little bulbs, they tend to be easier to take care of because in those bulbs they store water, so they're a little more forgiving. If you're a little behind, they'll be okay. They have reserves. I forget the name of this one. It started with an H. I'll check and write it on the screen. This is Hoya calamantan. The bottom 2 leaves have browning spots on them, and I was really struggling. I didn't know what was causing that, but I think I was giving it too much light. And since I moved it into a less highlight place, its newest leaf seems to be coming in a lot better. I don't see any brown so far. Fingers crossed. This is my beautiful Vanda orchid. I've had her for multiple years. I just soak her in water and she hangs here. She's really cool, really unique. She adds a jungly vibe. In this terrarium here, this big one, or vivarium I should say, because it is a house for my pet cockroach. Yes, I have a pet cockroach. Anyway, so in this vivarium, I have 2 carnivorous plants, and don't worry, the cockroach is not in danger. The size of the cockroach is way bigger than the prey that these particular plants can catch. Let me show you. One little pinguicula. I don't know what kind, but there she is. Had her for many years. I also have a pitcher plant in here. And don't worry, like I said, the cockroach is much bigger than the pitchers are, so she's safe. Her name is Stella, by the way. Yeah, so the pitchers, if they ever get bigger, I will move it out of this vivarium and put a different plant in here for her. I don't want to take any risks, of course. But it's a pretty substantial size. It's almost at the top of the vivarium, so I may actually have to take it out very soon. This is my vanilla orchid. She used to be really, really big and mature. She filled this whole pole, which I'll back up so you can see. When I first had her, I got her like really big. And unfortunately, after she got really, really, really full on that pole and I tried to move her to a new pole, I undid her from this pole and it really put her into shock and almost all of her died. But I was able to save a little cutting and it's now growing back. We're starting over. So lesson learned, I will never remove her from a pole again. She's attached to the pole again. I'm really happy about that. She did that recently. Woohoo! These are my jumping spider vivariums, and inside of each one there is a cute little air plant. I don't know the names of each kind of air plant, but this one's really cool and wonky looking. If you know the names to these air plants, please do let me know. The formal name for air plants, if you don't already know, I believe is Tillandsia. Let me know if you want me to do a video about my pet spiders. I have more than this, by the way. This is just a few. One of my favorites, Anthurium winlingeri. Can't wait for her to get long and lush. These staghorn ferns make such a perfect centerpiece in my plant room. I love them. They're super forgiving plants as well. I mounted them on this cork board, or cork bark, sorry, a few years back, and I just take them into the bathroom over the bathtub and pour water in behind their shield fronds onto the moss, and they're fine. I mean, there's a limit to how much neglect you can give any plant, but if you forget to water them once in a while for like a day or two more than you should, they're usually okay. This beauty, this stunner, Monstera albo, came to me from my friend Jika. Again, thank you, Jika. I have a lot of plants from her. Recently decided to just go a little crazy and extend her pole, even though she doesn't need it at all right now. I'm calling this the manifestation pole. We are manifesting this. She will fill this pole. This is Hoya pseudoliteralis. When you put it in high light, it gets super red. You can see a little bit of red coming in on the edges there. My Hoya Sarawak has been growing super well, and her most recent leaf is just huge. Look at the size of this. I'm so in love. I can't wait for her to grow up. Alocasia sinuata. This is a kind of orchid. It has really beautiful mottled leaves. I think that's the word, mottled. It's a Paphiopedilum Maudier vinicolor, and its flowers are super beautiful. They're like dark, 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 dark purple, almost black. I'll put a photo up so that you can see. She bloomed once, and it's been a few years. I'm hoping she'll bloom again soon. And she has a little pup coming in at the base, as you can see here. So from what I've heard, the flower doesn't come on the same plant again. It's only when you get a pup that you'll get another flower. So I think this means that at some point after this pup grows up, I'm going to have another flower. A lot of people say that the original plant dies after it flowers, but I really don't think that's true, because I have had this for like 5 years, maybe 4, 5, 6, something like that. I honestly have lost count. And it was in bloom at the very beginning. So if that was the case, it would have died by now, and it didn't. This is supposed to be Hoya Wilbur Graves. I got her on Marketplace, and I made an error when I chose it. I didn't swipe through the photos, and I didn't realize that the first photo that I saw was the mama plant only, and she was basically selling reverted cuttings. So now I have a reverted Wilbur Graves. But spoiler alert, I'm getting one in a trade very soon. An actual Wilbur Graves, not a reverted one. Yay! Here we have, oh, the lighting's not great. Let me fix that. Here we have my coffee bush or tree. Is it a tree or a bush? I'm not sure. Either way, it's beautiful. I've had this plant for maybe 10 years. It was one of my OG plants. She's a beauty. Linearis. She's so pretty and long. Australis Lisa. The new leaves come in this beautiful red, almost maroon red, and then they eventually fade down to this like tricolor green color. I think she's really a beautiful plant. She's kind of underappreciated. My Thai constellation, Monstera Thai constellation. I grew from a tiny chunk in, I think, 2020, 2021. My Epipremnum Cebu Blue, who is pretty bald right now. I did a lot of chopping on her, and I'm just rooting out the cuttings to make a fuller pot soon. Hoya Publicalis Splash. She used to be really, really long, like super long and lush. She was glorious, and there were none of these reverted leaves. It was all this that you can see in the background. But I brought her to my school as a classroom plant, and I shouldn't have. She ended up being put in a spot that wasn't giving her enough light, and suddenly, when I wasn't paying attention, all of her leaves were dropping very quickly. She seemed like she was fine, and then all of a sudden they were all dropping, and I had to do an emergency chop and prop, and the leaves that came back on the original mama came out reverted, but thankfully some of the props, which still have the original splash, they rooted, and I planted them back in, so we're gonna be okay. It's kind of cute, the two variations together, the reverted and the super splash together. It's nice. Hoya curtisii, one of my favorites, actually. I know she's a little underrated, undervalued, but I think she is just adorable. Especially, I love her because I love the way she climbs on this driftwood. She's really attached to it. I actually tried to take her off not that long ago because I thought, oh, maybe it would be nice to see her trailing now that she's so big and lush. But no. She is not willing to leave her home. This is where she's staying forever. She's got little feet dug in. It's really cute. She's happy, so I'm happy. This Monstera skeleto leaf is very old. The fact that it's still standing is impressive. I got it from my friend Jika, same friend I talked about already. Yeah, she gave it to me about a year and a half ago, and it just has been in the One Leaf Club until it recently started pushing out its first leaf in my care after a year and a half. And it is not going to disappoint. Look at the size of it. For a first leaf out of a propagation, I am so impressed. And I can see it's full of fenestrations. I don't know if I caught that well. Let me try. Okay, this is better. Look at that. You can see it's got fenestrations. It's really long. Oh, that's my cat, by the way. That's Jojo. I'm excited for this. In here, I have a terrarium, no bugs or anything, just moss, including a cutting of club moss that you could see winding around it. These are all mosses that I found locally. This stunning new baby leaf, baby anthurium leaf, is from my hybrid of Forgetii, crystallinum, and magnificum. The new leaves are so dark and lush, and you can see this one has a little mechanical damage, but it's still pretty. This one is my Anthurium Yasumi's heart. It used to be really, really big. All of my anthuriums, when I first moved to this new house, they struggled with the change of environments between my apartment and this house. And at first, I didn't know it was mechanical damage caused by lack of humidity, or not necessarily lack of humidity, but lowering of humidity. They've adjusted. So I wouldn't say it's automatically going to happen in lower humidity, but the adjustment period was hard. yeah, I didn't recognize that that's what it was, and I panicked, and I went straight to thinking that it was thrips. And my way of dealing with thrips, the couple times that it's happened to me, is to just chop off all the foliage, even if it's painful to do it, because they lay their eggs in the leaves. And so I did that with all of my anthuriums. And it turned out that I didn't need to. They didn't even have thrips. I figured it out months later after chopping them back 3 times. Because every time new leaves came back, it looked thrippy again. I just kept chopping them, the poor babies. Speaking of other anthuriums in this collection, this one's my very favorite. Honestly, I'm obsessed with her. You've probably seen, if you follow me on any of my socials, you've probably seen her. She is a cross of Forgetii and crystallinum, and she's beautiful. This, not so beautiful. This was mega mechanical damage. This one has 0 leaves, but it's coming. You can see. I got this one recently, and it had a bunch of pups on it, but no leaves on the main stem. So I actually removed all of the pups so that the mama can focus on herself for a change. And she's going to come back, I'm sure of it. It is a cross between crystallinum and magnificum, but I bought it because, well, I mean, I would like any crystallinum magnificum, they're all pretty, but I bought this one specifically in the bunch that were there because it had really long leaves. I'll show you one of the pups. So this is one of the pups from her, and the leaves are way longer than usual for that particular hybrid. This pup is going out in a trade next week. Super cute. It has a little mechanical damage just because that leaf was like coming in when I was coming home with them, and that leaf was rubbing up against the side of the box that I was carrying it in. So that's all. Hoya croniana black. Definitely one of my favorites. The foliage comes in super dark when it's new. And if you give it a lot of light, it can stay dark for quite a while. I had her flower for me once. I've chopped her up a lot recently to make some propagations, but she's doing well. One of my very favorites, Monstera Burl Marks Flame. I have had this one for a couple of years, and it has not grown much. The top 2 leaves literally just grew in this spring. So she's finally starting to make progress. She was frozen in the 2-leaf club for 2 years, but she's on her way. And I think part of the reason she's doing better is she's got her roots into the moss pole behind. Well, it's a substrate pole, really. I don't have moss in it. I have substrate in it, but anyway. Showed you that little anthurium pup. I'll show you some other stuff that's around here. This is the millsbow that I use as a propagation millsbow. Everything in here is propagations or seedlings. Well, not necessarily seedlings, sorry, but like really baby plants that I need to give a little extra care to. So this one is my philodendron strawberry shake, and it is not new at all, but it stayed tiny this whole time. I've had it for like 4 years, 3 years, and it never seems to grow. It's so rare that it puts out a leaf, and they're always so little. So I decided recently to pop it in here to give it some extra loving care and see if that helps. This is my philodendron billietiae, another similar situation, but I propagated the one that wasn't growing into 3, and this is one of the 3. It's a very slow grower as well. I'm hoping this space will help it to do better. Philodendron Pariso Verde. I'm not really in love with it anymore, especially because it's so hard to get it to be variegated. I think I'm going to sell it. I won't show you everything in here, just the things that aren't duplicates of the plants outside of here. This is an anthurium Carla Blackier. She's so cute. That is not yellowing of the leaf. That is the coloration of like the process of hardening off. It's a very new leaf. This is Anthurium luxurian. with a beautiful new leaf as well. And this is my anthurium queen, Warquianum. So far, she's alive, and I think that's the most I can hope for. We'll see how he goes. I don't know for sure that she's gonna be in my collection forever. I had a queen anthurium before, and it didn't make it, but I'm trying again. In the bottom of this Mills bow is more propagations, and they're all duplicates of things that you're going to see or have already seen, so we don't need to open them up, but they're cute little jars. I like them. Now this Mills bow is my favorite. It's empty on the bottom, mostly, because I just cleared it around, cleared that space in the bottom to make space for all the new plants that are coming next week. I need somewhere to keep them. The reason this one is my favorite is because it's all Hoyas. I love Hoyas. If you haven't figured that out, I've already shown you quite a few. These are the littler ones. Let's check them out. This one's not that little, but she's in here anyway. This is a Lacanosa Super Silver. I think I'm going to take them out because the lighting isn't the best in there. This is Hoya Silver Dollar. Carnosa Nova Ghost. Definitely one of my favorites. So pretty with the little speckles. Sorry for the shaking. That's the downside of taking them out. One, the lighting seems okay. This is a Shepherdii. And this one is a Wayedii tricolor. This is Leucantha. I got that one in March, and I chopped it up to make props really like immediately, because in general you can do that with Hoyas, but she has not grown at all since, and the props are not doing well, and I'm really regretting that. So if you ever get a Leucantha, do not chop her, at least not right away. She is a bit of a diva. This is Hoya Lee or Lei, I'm not sure which one. She's super cute, and her leaves are fuzzy a little bit. I like that. Got some texture. Is Sulawesiana, and I suspect, although it wasn't officially sold to me as this, I suspect it's a specific variation that is redder than most, because even when I don't have it in super highlight conditions, the red and purpley red never faded. So I think it's just really special. Ganungading. Super cute. It can get really red when you sun stress. You can see a little bit. This one's Nicholsoniae New Guinea Ghost. One of my favorites as well. Very hard to propagate. I've tried to propagate it multiple times and it never works. I always end up chopping her for no reason, which is frustrating. I don't mind chopping if it gives me benefits, but if it does nothing, why chop? So I'm not going to chop again. And this new leaf is stunning. Outer variegated Carrii, or Carrie, I'm not sure which pronunciation is right. And I've had it for a while, and I was thinking it was never going to grow. And then I chopped the leaf off and rerooted it, and the little stump is finally starting to do something. So I think that was a good decision. I don't know if you can see. Look at that! The little baby leaves are coming. These are my 3 Polynuras. I have one outer variegated. Well, I mean, I'm saying one, but there's actually 3 cuttings in there. And one just doesn't seem to ever grow. We'll see. And these 2 are nice. They're a little bit yellowed. There's a hint of yellow coming in on them. And also my inner variegated is looking a little droopy and yellowy. I think I've been overwatering them. So I'm going to back up on the watering. I think that that's what they need. This is, I'll show her closer, my beautiful inner variegated Polynera. She's so pretty. Many of you saw on Wild Fern's channel yesterday that I sent her a cutting of this. I made 2 cuttings when I got that one, and here's one of the 2 cuttings. The other one is at Fern's house. This is a Thomsonii pink flower, and I love it so much because the leaves are so fuzzy. Look at this fuzz. Why is it not focusing? Sorry about that. There we go. Look at the fuzz. Thomsonii has my heart. And it has some new growth. Look. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, and you know, I think the overwatering is because I was afraid of underwatering because their leaves are a little bit thinner than most of my other Hoyas. And so I thought to myself that they probably need a little bit more water, and I was trying to pay really close attention to make sure that I didn't underwater them, and then I ended up doing the opposite problem. Yeah, being a helicopter mama is not always a good thing. Okay, we're now in my bathroom. This is where I keep my Calathea macroiana, who is just so beautiful. Oh, I love her. As well as one of the many rabbit's foot fern babies. My kangaroo fern, I had a really big one that was as big as the rabbit's foot fern, but it struggled, and I'm not sure. I think I just underwatered it for too long and it couldn't come back. It probably got some kind of dry rot or something, but I was able to cut some of the base, and it's super easy to propagate these when they have these little feet. So I have a baby restarting her. This is Philodendron neon as well as Philodendron cordatum mixed in together. Okay, we're now in my living room. You can see we have another baby rabbit's foot fern. They're just everywhere. And this big, beautiful macho fern. I mean, it's not super big for a macho fern, but the species is a very large fern. Another cute little Philodendron neon here on the mantle above the fireplace. And here in our little record station, our vinyl collection area, we have a tiny Philodendron cordatum. It's just a baby getting started in life. The kitchen above my sink, another rabbit's foot fern baby. They're so easy. You can just put them anywhere. In my dining room, I've got this Marble Queen pothos. It was a gift from a student last year. In my basement, I have a shrimp and snail tank, and I have a few live plants in there, some really cool stuff, as well as a Peperomia pilia, who apparently sun stresses. I didn't even know that they could do this, but it's so pretty. She was growing, like poking up above this stick, and then she started to droop over, And now she's making new roots at the point where her bend touches the water. Sorry for the shaking. There, more stabilized now. So where the bend touches the water, she's putting out a second group of roots. And I think I'm actually going to cut above those roots or below those roots and take her out of here and use her in a terrarium project that I'm going to be doing soon. And you can see at the base, she has a little pup, which once the main plant is cut off, that little pup should get all of the energy of the massive root system she has in here. It's crazy. All of these roots are all Peperomia pilia roots. Yeah, so she's going to be fine. And these are all like aquatic plants. This one, I forget the name. I don't remember the aquatic plant names, any of them actually. But it's cool because it has like a reddy orangey color. And that one is fake. Ignore that one. And this one is live. It's supposed to climb this wood. We'll see if it does. There's also like this cool moss. Let me see if I can stabilize well to get a good view of it. So there's the moss. And there's one of the shrimpos. This little casing beside, it's not a dead shrimp, it's because one of them molted. The last leg of this tour is my little potted balcony garden. I'll show you. I have basically a snake plant army. There's like a standard green, there's the green with the yellow variegation. That's a little tomato plant. This is a dwarf pomegranate tree. It's super cute, and when it flowers and grows little tiny pomegranates, it is the most adorable tree in the world. Here is a Queen of the Night cactus. Here is my Euphorbia millii. She's loving the sun, as is my Euphorbia trigona. You might notice that the little leaves are all browned, and that's because, unfortunately, there was a storm not that long ago, and the storm knocked her over. I came home from a dinner at a friend's house, and she was completely knocked over, and I had to repot her, basically. And I don't know how long her roots were up and out of the soil exposed during the storm, but they were probably out for a while. And she went into shock directly after that. But I have been taking more precautions. She's survived. She's okay. I've put these big rocks around her base, and I move her to the side when I know a storm is coming, just to keep her out of the wind a little bit, because I repotted her just this spring, so her roots aren't super stable, which is what makes her easy to blow away, I guess. Here I have Cissus quadrangularis. I chopped it up very recently to make a bigger pot of it soon. This one, I'm going to be making a hanger for it soon, but for the moment it sits on this table. This is a burrow's tail. Sedum something, I'm not sure. A little Haworthia cooperi, super cute. This one I am so excited to show you. This is Euphorbia ghost cactus. It's hard to see with the backlighting. Let me change. There we go, that's better. And the reason I'm so excited is because this is my third time trying to grow her. First two croaked, but this one is doing so well. This one has been putting out multiple new growth points. I have a feeling she's going to be really big by the end of the summer. I'm so happy. Let me just turn her a little bit and show you. Look at all the new growth. She's so cute. I love that the new growth is pink. She's just so beautiful. I mentioned having an army of snake plants. I was not kidding. There's a lot more. There's 4 moonshine snake plants, a ZZ raven, what is this one called again? Bantel Sensation snake plant, and I have 2 of them. Yet another snake plant, the copper tone. I think of all my snake plants, this is my favorite. If I had to choose just one snake plant in the whole collection, this would be the one. And this little spiky snake plant dude, I don't know the name of. Last but certainly not least, Begonia Black Velvet. I actually just got her recently and she is so beautiful. I am incredibly happy that I decided to get her. I went back to my local garden center multiple times and considered getting her and didn't multiple times, and then finally I gave in. Such a good decision. Look, she's flowering. Let's see if I can. There. She's so pretty. So that is the last of my plants. So as promised, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself now. For those of you who stuck around till the end, thank you. I really appreciate everyone who's here. This is really a passion project for me. I'm so excited to be finally doing it. And this first long form video, it had me really nervous, and I'm really glad I did it. So thank you for being here and supporting my new channel. So a little about me. I'm from Canada, originally specifically the province of Nova Scotia, and I now live in Quebec, in rural Quebec. I spent 15 years in Montreal before moving to the countryside, and I really, really love living in the countryside. This is new for me, but it's been a very long dream, and it finally happened. My husband and I bought our dream house out here, and we're really, really happy. If anyone is interested in seeing a video tour of the forests and meadows behind my house, leave that in the comments below and let me know, please. I'm curious to see what people are interested in. Yeah, some other stuff about me. I'm a high school art teacher and an artist. I love creating in every way possible. I love to dabble with all different kinds of art forms, and this channel actually is a part of that. This is just another new form of art that I'm playing with. Yeah, I'm married and I don't have kids, but I do have 3 cats and many pet bugs, as you saw during the tour. I also really love cooking and baking. I used to cook and bake a lot more. I used to be really obsessed with it before I became obsessed with plants. And it actually was the beginning of my plant obsession in a way, because it all started when I was obsessing over vegan cooking about like 13, 12 years ago. And I started growing some food from seeds for my cooking projects. And then it just exploded from there. I just loved growing plants for my recipes so much that I started getting more and more and more obsessed with the plants than the food. Anyway, that's enough about me for today, I think. Thank you again so much for sticking around until the end. Put a little heart, a green heart, in the comments to let me know that you stuck around. I really appreciate you, and I'd love to see who you are. The next video next week will be unboxing, because I have a ton of plants coming. So stay tuned if you want to see all of my new plants. Have a great week. Bye, everybody. Thanks again for being here.